Hey guys, so today's going to be another ranking video. This is going to be my top 10 laptops I would love to own if I had more money. So those of you guys who watch my channel may or may not know that I do have a collection of different electronics and especially on different laptops, computers, phones, and things like that. But yeah, this is going to be a list on 10 different laptops that I would love to get if I had more money. So I don't have that much money to just buy everything that I want. Contrary to what it may appear, because I do review a lot of expensive devices, but that doesn't mean that I can afford them all. And yeah, this is going to be a list on the 10 different laptops, all from different brands, by the way, that I would love to get if I had the money. I just like looked around, browsed, and just going to talk about each one, a bit about why I like it, why it's unique, why it's special, why I want it. And yes, by the way, these are all going to be different brands. With my ranking videos, I usually like to make it like a bit diverse. So I like to just have every brand be kind of unique in my ranking videos. So yeah, this one is all going to be from different laptop manufacturers. So yeah, that's it. All right, so I'm going to go a bit over each one and tell you guys why it's special, why I want it. So the first one at number 10 is going to be the Vio SX14, but in particular, it's going to be the Kachi Eero Special Edition. Because this is a special color, not many laptops are exactly this color. It's this kind of like deeper blue color, and yeah, for Kachi Eero, this is like supposedly this is a traditional Japanese color that's used to denote some kind of very special formal occasions, I guess. They would use this color. It's this deep royal blue kind of color on this laptop. Really, really unique. Really like it. And yeah, this costs $2,200 US right now. I think it actually costed more before. This is actually how much it is after a bit of a discount. But yeah, this SX14 Special Edition, um, Catchy Hero Edition. There's a 4K version with touch as well. I think having a touchscreen is better. Um, I think there's actually a 4K version and a touchscreen version. Okay, so you can't have the 4K and touch. If I were to choose, I'd probably pick the touch version because I don't really need 4K. So yeah, I'd probably go with the touch version. I think that's more useful for me. But yeah, this is the specs here. It's an i7-1360P processor, which is a low voltage processor. That's meant to increase the battery life. It's not really a performant laptop because it's kind of like a business laptop. And for those of you guys who don't know, Vio is not Sony anymore. It used to be a Sony brand, but now it's its own independent corporation. So it's Vio Corporation that took over Sony's brand and kind of made it their own company. All these laptops are actually made in Japan. They're manufactured in Japan, which actually makes it kind of special because most laptops are like made in China, right? But this laptop is actually made in Japan. Um, and the specs itself is not too special, but yeah, they have a 4K version, touch version. Probably going to go with the touch version if I were to actually buy this Intel Iris Xe graphics, which is integrated 32 gigs of memory, 2 TB solid state drive. So all this stuff is fairly, I would say, standard for a high-end laptop. Vio, Japanese companies usually appeal to business people because a lot of the laptops are just built really well. They're like usually tested to military standards. And yeah, this one's no different. Like for Vio laptops, I generally find that they're very good build quality, pretty no nonsense in terms of their styling and a lot of ports. So Japanese laptops in general appeal more to business users because they give you a lot of ports. They're generally very well built, come with a generous warranty and everything. And yeah, the special version with the Kachihiro is what I like about this SX14 version, and the Kachihiro is the most expensive version because of the special color. But yeah, this really nice royal blue, or this kind of like a almost looks purple as well. This kind of like purple bluish color. It's yeah, it's like purple bluish, something like that. Comes with a lot of ports. You get one, USB-A here with a headphone jack on one side, and then on the other side you get another USB-A, Thunderbolt or USB-C here, full-size HDMI, full-size Ethernet, another Thunderbolt slash USB-C here. Generous selection of ports as you would expect from a Japanese company. But yeah, the special Catchy Euro version is pretty nice. Oops, I think that's the black version now. But here's the catchier version. Yeah, it's this kind of purple bluish color. It's pretty nice. And you can look at the specs here. Well, just like the marketing blurbs here, okay? So some Intel Evo technology ensures lightning fast response, exceptional battery life. So I think this is just kind of like a turbo boost thing, where it doesn't actually use the full power of the processor unless you really need it, which increases battery life. Um, the carbon fiber chassis, again, this is something that will appeal to business users because they're really well built. And I like Japanese laptops and business laptops in general. And if there is, actually for me, if I buy a laptop, it's either a Japanese, well, it's a business laptop, sorry, not Japanese laptop, business laptop, like a ThinkPad, Latitude, HP EliteBook, or a Japanese laptop, because these laptops are all very well built, or a gaming laptop. So those are the kind of laptops I usually buy now. Just a business laptop or gaming laptop, just one of those two. I don't usually buy just normal consumer level laptops anymore. So yeah, just my everyday laptop is like usually a business class laptop like my HP Dragonfly Elite. So yeah, definitely wouldn't mind a laptop like this just as an everyday driver. Looks pretty resistant. This one's like spill resistant. Another business laptop type of benefit, I guess. A lot of business class laptops have spill resistant keyboards. So yeah, while true performance technology supposedly enhances the processor's efficiency. Now, I haven't really owned many Bio laptops. I only ever reviewed the Bio S16, which was all the way back in 2016. So I haven't had um, a Bio laptop in a while. So it'd be cool to have the true performance technology. I haven't experienced it before. Supposedly, it increases. It's like a factory overclock, almost increases the CPU speed and power without degrading the performance or battery life, I guess. Yep. And this one's okay, so they place the keyboard at some optimal level here. Touch panel display is always good. I always like to have my main computer be a touch panel because there's almost no reason not to have it. Like it's just a good benefit because whenever I want to zoom in, and it's usually when I want to zoom into something, then I can just pinch and zoom. It's a lot easier for me to do that than to just yeah, use the mouse almost. So I also like to use it, especially when I'm like browsing through pictures and stuff like that. I use my finger to do it. It's a little bit easier for me than using the mouse. So it's yeah, touchscreen for me is usually good. 180-degree hinge is not a fully 360-degree convertible, but 180 degrees is always pretty nice, flexible. Then you have, of course, our webcam, and that's their power button they put there. So it's very light, I believe, as well, because usually Japanese laptops are quite light as well. So I wonder if they have the actual. Hmm. Okay, they didn't actually list the weight here, but I remember with the other Vio laptops, it usually weighs like less than 3 pounds, which is pretty light. So yeah, Core i7 1560p, 14-inch. I guess I would go with that full HD. Yeah, so you guys have already seen that spec, so I already went over here. So yeah, that would be my number 10 pick is the XX14 Special Edition with the Catchy Euro, because I really do like this color, and plus the having the nice durability of Japanese laptops is always nice to have. So yeah, it's also very light as well. So that would be my pick here. The SX14 Special Edition Catchy Euro Edition, which is a limited edition usually. All right, number 9 is going to be the Panasonic Toughbook 33, another Japanese laptop. And I've never owned a rugged laptop before. I've always wanted to, just kind of, kind of as a cool thing for my collection to play around with. So this one's a bit older spec. Comes with an i7 1270p. So it's, yeah, the processor is like a few years old. That's because Panasonic Toughbooks don't really usually update very often. But Panasonic, by the way, this is a company that, just like Bio, most people probably don't know that Bio still makes laptops because they don't really advertise it too much in the US. They do have a US site. This is their US site, but they don't really advertise that much. Panasonic, same thing. Most people don't know that Panasonic still makes laptops. They do make them. It's just the tough books are not very advertised towards normal consumers. They're mostly advertised to like industrial workers and people like that who do use tough books a lot because they're tough, they're rugged, they're meant to be used on the field in industrial settings, things like that. And this is being a convertible as well. So this one's actually detachable convertible. So you have the tablet portion right here that separates from the bottom portion, kind of like a Microsoft Surface tablet. But actually, this style is more like a Surface Book, like a Microsoft Surface Book. Yeah, so it's like a Microsoft Surface Book where the tablet portion detaches from the rest of the body, like a hard detachable. That's pretty cool. And the entire like case here, I guess, has a built-in case. It's always ruggedized, so it can handle a lot of abuse, of course, and it's also convertible as well. So you can kind of flip it over like that, and you can convert it into a tablet. So all in all, this is a very versatile laptop that can obviously survive a lot of different conditions and extreme conditions because of its protection. And I've never had a laptop like this before, like this kind of ruggedized laptop. And the Panasonic Toughbook is probably the most famous example of a ruggedized laptop. I think the Dell Latitude has a few models that have a ruggedized type of casing as well, but I prefer the Panasonic Toughbook. This is like the OG kind of rugged laptop series. So the 12-inch laptop, 3.2 display, which I do like. 3.2 display means you have more vertical space to read pages and stuff. And it's generally better for a tablet form factor as well because it's going to be a little bit more compact on the horizontal axis. So it's going to be a little bit easier to carry that way. Twin battery design. This processor is a bit old, but still like good enough, I guess. The i7 1270p. Um, and yeah, 12 inch, 1200 nit, multi-touch display. Uh, Battery life could be a bit better, but I think if you get this, yeah, you can also get the optional long life batteries, which ups it to 14 hours. With a laptop like this, you'd want it to last pretty long because you're out there in the field, right? So you want it to last pretty long. I'd probably add an extended battery for this one. So if you look at the ports here, it's Thunderbolt 4, that's a pretty modern port, USB-C, and you got a USB-A as well, an HDMI, full size, I guessing, Ethernet, an optional serial port, which is again catering to the fact that this might be used in industrial applications where they have serial connections. Optional micro SD slot, which is cool as well. Audio in and out. You got dual SIM slot, which an eSIM in it, so that's really cool. Again, this is useful in settings where you're outside. You're in an industrial setting, there might not be internet, so it's really useful to have something like a nano SIM and eSIM out there to get data where you don't have any internet and a docking connector. So overall, this is yeah, it's a laptop for like industrial settings, I would say. Business settings, yes, that would work too, but industrial settings where you're outside in the field. Um, and then if you get the keyboard with the expansion docking connector, I guess you get three more USB-A ports, SD card slot, HDMI, VGA port, Ethernet, serial, and an extended docking connector, I guess. So yeah, you can just add more accessories there. 3.4 pounds, which is actually not too bad. But the premium keyboard, I guess, actually this is not a, this is not a docking connector. This is maybe just the bottom part, I think. Oh, it is. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I thought this was kind of some kind of docking. No, this is actually just the bottom half here. Okay. So this is the top half. Just on the tablet itself, it's got a USB-C, USB-A, HDMI, Ethernet, micro SD serial, audio in and out. That's just on the tablet portion. And then on the keyboard portion, you get three more USB-A, SD, HDMI, VGA, Ethernet serial docking. That's insane. I mean, I didn't believe that this was just all on one essentially if you connect it, then it's basically this is all the ports you get on one computer, which is an insane amount of ports. So I that's why I was kind of like, wow, I thought this was some kind of docking station. Nope, this is actually the keyboard. So yeah, once you dock it with the keyboard, you essentially have four USB-A ports, um, an SD and a micro SD, two HDMI, a VGA, two Ethernet, two serial, and two docking connectors, and and a USB-C. That's insane. And audio in and out. That's actually an insane amount of ports for one computer. That's crazy. And then all that weighs 3.4 pounds is the tablet itself, but 6.2 pounds with the premium keyboard. So yeah, it's pretty heavy if you add the keyboard in. But then again, it is for industrial settings and it's rugged, so that's why it weighs a lot because the thing is meant to be like built like a tank, and it's military standard A10H certified. But in addition, it has all these other certifications as well. So this is definitely one of the most rugged laptops on the market. In addition to that, it's very versatile and flexible because you can always detach the tablet portion. And if you add it to the keyboard portion, then you have like a shit ton of ports basically. Yes, it's very big and thick and clunky, but when you're out there in the field, you need all the ports you can get. And it doesn't matter too much if it's big and clunky because it does its job well. And you don't need to fiddle around with dongles and stuff like that. And probably you have an extended battery there as well. So yeah, I would love to just get a Toughbook just to have one in my collection. I've never owned a Toughbook before. I always wanted to. How much does it cost? Well, it doesn't say so on the website itself, but from what I can find on Amazon, this is the price I saw, $2,800 US. So it's not cheap. But yeah, this is basically the very industrial looking laptop. You can see like all the ports are covered by a flap, by a cover, so that it's very resistant to any kind of dust or water here. Like I have no doubts that you can even submerge, like you can just dump this in a pool or something and it might survive. Like you can just submerge this fully in water and it might even survive. Like that's it's just crazy like how durable and rugged this looks. Yeah, this thing looks like a beast. Very compact and well, I mean compact in terms of like its durability, I guess. Panasonic Toughbook, yeah. So this thing looks like you can just like yeah, drench it in rain, it'll be fine. Can be a sandstorm, you'll be fine. This thing can survive a lot. So yeah, you get a lot here, I think, in terms of the ruggedness, right? You can see all the ports have different covers on them and flaps just to prevent any dust or water into coming in. So overall, yeah, and this being a hybrid where you can kind of like, detach it. It's a hard detachable too. So it's not a soft detachable because the keyboard itself is not like one of those like membrane keyboard like I'm talking about those one of the thin membrane keyboards you get on Surface Pros and stuff like that. Not one of those like or iPad Pros. It's not one of those like cheap looking thin keyboards. This thing is an actual docking station, I think. Yeah, so this keyboard is basically like a docking station. Look how many ports it comes with. So this is an actual like, heavy duty keyboard here, not one of those thin membrane keyboards you get from the iPad Pro or Surface Pro. But yeah, this thing is very rugged, amazing. Okay, anyways, Panasonic Toughbook CF33. That's going to be my number nine pick here. My number eight pick is going to be Surface Laptop Studio 2. So I did talk about Surface laptops a bit, right, already. But this is a bit different than the Surface Pros or the Surface Laptop because this one is really meant for creators, like content creators and graphical artists and stuff like that, like creative professionals. And that's why it has such a unique design. So this type of design, I would say I first saw this kind of design in the Sony Vaio Duo back in the day, like back in when Windows 8 came out. A lot of these convertible laptops came out in with different form factors, and Sony came out with this kind of unique design where the Vaio Duo is like it's like this normal laptop kind of shape, but then the screen actually like you can actually fold the screen in towards you, kind of like push it forward like this, and it will just kind of rest right in front of the touchpad, just like that. So I call this kind of Sony Vaio Duo form factor because that's I saw it in the Sony Vaio Duo first, but here you still have it in a laptop studio. Not many other laptops do this kind of design. Still kind of a unique design. I think the HP Dragonfly Folio does it, but not many other laptops do have this kind of design. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, this is really meant for creative professionals, but you do have a lot of power here because you have an RTX 4050, 4060, or an RTX 2000, which is a professional level graphics card. So the difference is these are consumer graphics cards. This is a professional level, which has more stable drivers usually. So yeah, the RTX 2000 Ada, or you can get it with a 4060. So that's pretty powerful. You can get a dedicated GPU like that. Latest 13th gen Intel processors, and yeah, overall, like it's really meant for creative professionals, content creators, which is useful for me because I'm a content creator as well. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not too much of an artist, but the fact is, you can also use this, for drawing and stuff like that. Watching movies, it would actually be better too because the screen is closer to you for watching movies. It's almost like having a convertible. You flip it into the stand mode, I guess. The screen's closer to you. Yeah, for programming, of course, I'm a programmer too, so that would be useful. Yeah, very streamlined, cutting edge design. Yeah, so yeah, it has a built-in pen storage. Okay, so it does come with a pen, right? Or you have to buy it separately. But anyways, for graphical professionals, it'd be nice to have something like that. I remember back in the day, one of my first laptops was a Gateway CX2724, which came with a Intrig pen. I think not a Wacom, but an Intrig pen, and you could write on it with a digitizer because it was built into the screen. But this is really next level, right? It does come with a no. Well, a pen, I guess that's it's, I don't know, 4,000, 8,000, probably different pressure levels. And really nice for graphical artists. Like I like to just have the ability, like the option to be able to draw stuff like that because it might come in handy. I mean, there's times where you might need to sign a document or something like that, and having something like this is useful. Or maybe you're playing like some online Pictionary type of game with someone, and that's obviously when having a pen would be useful too. And of course, if you're a Deviant artist or someone who's doing a lot of Photoshop, then it's also really useful too to have that pen. Micro SD card reader is always nice to see. So on this side, you do have a micro SD card reader. Always nice to see that. This looks like a full-size micro SD as full-size SD card slot as well. I wonder if that's actually what it is. Then there's a headphone jack here, of course. This side looks like a USB-A and two USB-C ports, which is what you expect. Yeah, Thunderbolt 4 docking interface. Nice. Um, yeah, let me actually check the full tech specs though to see what that actually is. So, yep, you get NVIDIA dedicated NVIDIA GeForce GPUs here, up to 64 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage. 14.4 inch is not really common display setting, but I guess it's kind of like a unique display size here. 14.4 inch, 120 hertz refresh, HDR, Dolby Vision is nice to have, especially if you're watching movies and stuff. And quad Omnisonic speakers with Dolby Atmos. I wonder how good those are. I have never, like the Surface Book is, I think the only Microsoft laptop I've ever reviewed on my channel. I don't think I've reviewed any other Microsoft laptop on my channel, so I've never done a laptop review of a Microsoft laptop, like Surface laptop. I've only ever done the Surface Book 1, so it would be cool to have another Microsoft laptop on my channel to look at someday, maybe. So yeah, the 4060, that's a pretty powerful CPU, and RTX 2000 is nice. So this is definitely good enough for most mainstream games, unless you want to play in 4K, which you wouldn't anyways, because this is a 1600p display. It's not 4K. So I think at 1600p, a 4060 would be enough for most games. Um, yeah, color profiles Vita H display HDR 400 certified, Dolby Vision IQ support. That's nice. Um, quad sonic speakers, or omnisonic speakers. I mean, I wonder how good those are. And two USB-C, USB-A, micro SD. Okay, so that port right there that looked like a full-size SD port, that was a Surface Connect port. Okay, so that's actually a proprietary port that Microsoft uses to connect their to charge the laptop and also to connect it to docking stations and stuff. So yeah, that's their own proprietary port. So pretty cool. Starts from $2,000, but I think if I were to actually get it, and if I had the money, I mean, this is kind of like a list based on, in theory, if I had the money, might as well go with the most expensive one, which is $3,700. If I was baller, then I would get this version, of course, 64 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD, and a 4060 if I was baller enough. And yeah, just a really cool this design, the Sony Bio design, along with the pretty powerful specs. And I think it does come with a pen, so it would be nice just to have a laptop in my collection like this, right? A very unique convertible type laptop. I think if this screen actually folds completely down into a tablet setting as well. So this is actually like a different kind of convertible, like the HP Dragonfly Folio. I think is the one I recently reviewed like this, where it kind of folds into a tablet when you push the screen down like that. It's really cool. It'd be cool to have a laptop with this kind of configuration and also have a pen. And yeah, just kind of unique design for a laptop. It's good for creative professionals, so why not, right? It'd be nice to have this kind of laptop in my collection. So that's at number 8. All right, number 7 is the MSI Titan 18HX. Now, this actually, to me, I don't really like MSI laptops usually because to me they're kind of they don't really stand out too much in any kind of special way, and generally their quality is below Asus and Razer and Aorus and some of the other brands. But this one kind of caught my eye, and part of that is because it has a mini LED option for the display, which not a lot of laptops have. So that's kind of where it kind of caught my eye here. But let's take a look at this. The Titan is basically MSI's top of the line flagship series. They have many different types of laptops, like the Ghost and the Raider. But yeah, the Titan is their top of the line flagship series. So yeah, overall, this looks from the appearance wise, I don't think I've always been like I don't think I've ever been really blown away by the design of any MSI laptops. I always found that it looked very generic, uh, like gamery looking. Same thing with Acer Predators actually. They always and Gigabytes too. They always look kind of generic gamery looking. Lenovo Legion, Samsung Odysseys, HP Omens, like yeah, they all just kind of look very generic gamery looking. But yeah, this one is pretty powerful. Of course, this being their flagship line of laptops, you can get it with up to your 4090, which is the top of the line GPU right now. 14900HX Intel Core i9, again, a top of the line CPU that you can get right now. You can do an overboost with up to 5.8 gigahertz. That's crazy. Another thing that's really cool about this laptop is the Cherry MX ultra low profile mechanical keyboards option. So that's really cool, and that caught my eye as well because I really like mechanical keyboards, and there's not a whole lot of options for laptops. Like MSI is one of the few companies offering mechanical keyboards in their laptops. I think Alienware is the only other brand that I know of that offers mechanical keyboards in their laptops. So yeah, Cherry MX ultra low profile mechanical keyboard. That's one of the things that caught my eye about this one, as well as the 18-inch 4K mini LED display, 120 hertz. That's really cool. I don't know many other brands that offer mini LED as a display option. So this is not OLED, this is mini LED. It's a different display technology. It's actually a newer technology than OLED. So that's pretty cool. I don't know many other laptops that have mini LED as an option. I think Razer might have some laptops with mini LED, but yeah, not a whole lot of brands have it. So yeah, let's take a look. This is a kind of like walk around of the laptop. SteelSeries keyboard, Cherry MX switches. So I'm guessing the SteelSeries kind of designed the keyboard layout, which kind of looks like just like any other laptop layout, honestly. But Cherry MX switches are cool. 24 cores, 5.8 gigahertz, that's a lot. 200 watts, desktop grade power. So this really is a full-blown desktop replacement laptop. So your RTX 40 series, AI-powered performance, DLSS 3. This is just talking about the NVIDIA stuff, actually. This is all stuff that's already built into the NVIDIA cards. Virtual reality, yep. MSI AI engine. So that I wonder how what this is actually about. So this AI engine, AR artist stuff. I wonder if this is just marketing or like, yeah, not exactly sure what this does. But a lot of companies are advertising AI in their laptops these days. So you can do like intelligent meetings, intelligent gaming, intelligent work, Again, I don't know exactly what this means. I think it might be just marketing stuff, but yeah, the AI can tune your different work modes, so you can do like creating work and entertainment. Different modes on the laptop can be affected by that, or changed. I don't know how exactly it works. And then MSI's overclocking technology, so you can overclock your GPU and CPU, I guess, to be even more powerful than it already is. Two fans, four exhaust, 2D coolants. This is important because when you have a laptop this powerful, it's important to cool it well. So if you have a nice vapor chamber design, yeah, that's pretty essential because you don't want your laptop to be shutting down in the middle of a gaming session. 3D cooling stands, okay. And that's something that happened with my current Alienware laptop, by the way, my M15. It has cooling issues, so I gotta like use a separate notebook cooler. Otherwise, it'll just shut down randomly when I'm gaming. Four DDR memories, DDR5 memory slots. That's you can expand all the way up to 192 gigs, which is insane. I don't think I would ever do that, but yeah, that's a lot of expansion slots. Four DDR5 memory slots and three M2 SSD slots. That's quite a bit of storage and quite a bit of RAM that you can add on this thing. And that's partly because this chassis is huge, right? It's an 18-inch laptop. It's a pretty massive chassis. There's a lot of room, and that's the benefit of having a bigger laptop like this, right? Everyone wants slim laptops and smaller laptops, sure, but the benefit of bigger laptops is that better cooling, first of all, and second of all, you have more expansion, more room for expansion. And Cherry MX keyboards, MX low pro. I wonder if these are the same. I wonder if these are similar or the same low profile mechanical keyboards that's used in Alienware laptops as well, because Alienware also advertises the fact that they use Cherry MX ultra low profile switches. So I wonder if that's the same one they use for Alienware. Maybe it is. Maybe it's their own design. I don't know. Maybe they have special designs for MSI and Alienware. I don't know. But it's really cool to have a mechanical keyboard on a laptop. It's one of the reasons I like this one. Mini LED, again, very, very rare to see on a laptop. So that's nice. Display HDR 1000. So definitely, if you're going to be watching movies on this with display HDR 1000, it should be pretty good for that. 2 million to 1 contrast ratio with mini LED, by the way. That's actually higher than OLED. OLED is 1 million to 1, mini LED 2 million to 1. Um, 4K 120 hertz, that's pretty top of the line specs for a display. 1000 nits brightness, 100% DCI-P3. Again, top of the line display here. Yeah, that's an insane display that this laptop has. It definitely might be one of the best displays on the market currently. Wi-Fi 7, that's I think the newest Wi-Fi standard, right? I think we're still in Wi-Fi 6. Almost most of the technology that I've seen these days, like you're still on Wi-Fi 6, there's Wi-Fi 7 already. That's pretty crazy. Yep, this is a full packed 99.9 watt hour battery because um, if you're 100 watts, I think you're not allowed to fly in planes anymore. Well, in a carry-on. So this is the maximum capacity that you can bring on a carry-on with you on a flight, 99.9 watt hours. So they really maxed it out for the battery. And Dynaudio. So yeah, they did partner with Dynaudio. That's a Danish audio company that makes a lot of high-end speakers and stuff. So they partnered with Dynaudio. I don't know how good it is because honestly, I've never owned an MSI laptop before. Nahimic is the surround sound technology that they own as well, which again, I haven't compared it. I have experienced, some other surround sound technologies like Razer's THX spatial surround and Dolby Atmos, DTS Sound Unbound, DTS X, and Creative Super X5. So I've experienced a whole bunch, some of these surround sound technologies before, and Sony actually has one as well, Sony 360 degree virtual audio or something. But yeah, the Nahimic I've experienced that before. I wonder how good it is. Desktop level I/O ports. So, I mean, it's got a ton of ports as you would expect for a big laptop like this. Audio combo jack, Thunderbolt 4, USB-C, USB 3.2 Type A, and then you got another Thunderbolt 4 for charging. That can also be used for charging or other things. DCI in, DC input right here, RJ45, which is Ethernet full size. HDMI 2.1. I would like to see a little bit better than that though, actually. I think 2.2 or higher is actually good right now. But yeah, I think you can actually get 2.2 right now, but 2.1 is pretty good. You need to have actually a better cable for 2.1 or higher, by the way. You can't just use the same cable you used before because 2.1 actually carries a lot more bandwidth. So I think you do need to add this, but you need to buy new cables for HDMI 2.1. And then you got another Type A slot here, which is USB 3.2 Gen 2 and a full-size SD card reader. So yeah, you got your whole array of ports, and these are the specs. Up to your 4090, you got i9 14900HX, 18-inch UHD. This is 4K, 3840 by 2400. 1610 display, which gives you a little bit more vertical space. I like that. Mini LED, that's very hard to find on a laptop, so it's cool they had that. That's a newer technology than OLED. 120 hertz refresh rate, 100% DCI-3. This is like definitely one of the best displays you can get on a laptop right now, for sure. 4K mini LED, 120 hertz, display HDR 1000. I mean, that's a pretty incredible display. Cherry MX keyboard by SteelSeries. Again, one of the best keyboards you can get on a laptop right now. Vapor chamber cooling. Yeah, so all in all, a beast of a laptop. So that's why I have this on my list at number 7. It's a beast laptop. The price is $4,800. So you guys can realize this is one of the most expensive laptops on this list here because it's such a beast, right? Like, Jesus, you're talking about like all the specs, right? Top of the line specs plus a mini LED display. Yeah, that's why it's so it's like definitely the most powerful laptop on this list, by the way. Um, yeah, it's got top of the line specs that you can get on a laptop. And plus it's got that 4K mini LED display, which is why it's 4,500 bucks. All right, so that's my number 7. My number 6 is going to be the Lenovo ThinkPad P16 Gen 2 at $5,500. That's actually 44% off because the full price is over $10,000, believe it or not. Why is it so expensive? Because it's a ThinkPad, and ThinkPads are business level, business class laptops. Business class laptops are always more expensive than consumer level laptops because they do a lot more Q&A, a lot more testing on business level laptops. So it's just in general built to a higher standard. Specs on these is a Core i9 950HX is pretty powerful. An RTX 5080 is this is a professional level graphics right here. So I forget what this is comparable to, but it's definitely I would say like maybe 4070, 4080. Like this is a pretty top of the line um professional graphics here. So yeah, it's definitely pretty powerful. One of NVIDIA's top of the line graphics cards. 128 gigs of memory, that's way more than enough. Whatever you need for video editing, 128 gigs. I mean, that's the amount of storage you would regularly get on a laptop actually when you get that much for RAM. You get 4 TB of memory of RAM here, M2 2280. So yeah, and it's a TLC Opal. Yeah, so it's your security is all like TLC Opal means that it's yeah, it should be more secure as well. So yeah, 4 TB, that's big. That's a lot of space. 16-inch 4K display. That's an OLED display as well, and Dolby Vision. So that's HDR. HDR 500, not quite as good as the MSI. That one was 1,000, but still, HDR 500 is still pretty good. 100% DCI-P3. 400 nits, that's a bit low. The MSI was 1,000, but 400 nits is just, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great though. I would like to see 1,000 nits, but the other specs are really good. 4K OLED, Dolby Vision. Um, yeah, HDR 500 is very good. And yeah, you got this Lenovo ThinkPad keyboard here, which is ThinkPad keyboards are usually one of the best on the market here. So it's nice to have the keyboard here with the full numpad right here because it's one of the bigger laptops, 16-inch laptop. It's got a size for a full numpad here. Yes, it's got a numpad, Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, this is one of Lenovo ThinkPad's most expensive laptops. Yeah, I think it might be actually the most expensive ThinkPad that you can get right now. It's a full-on mobile workstation. It's got a backlit skill-resistant keyboard with a full numeric keypad. Again, I have had a ThinkPad workstation before. I think it was the what was it? P70, I think I had before. Yeah, I had one of the ThinkPads before that I actually used as a full workstation. It was one of these workstation laptops, and I got it on refurbished, which, if you pay full price for one of these, like you're crazy because they're really expensive. So you basically have to get them on sale or refurbished. But yeah, as a mobile workstation, I have had one of these before. They're built like a tank. Like most ThinkPads are built like a tank, but the thing about the workstation level laptops, the P series, is that the P series, I believe, is still built with ThinkPad work with a roll cage. So with modern ThinkPads, they kind of transition more and more to consumer level stuff. So I'm talking about stuff like the X1 Yoga, the X1 Carbon, that stuff, or the X1 Nano as well. Like that stuff is more and more consumerized to the point where you can get those kind of ThinkPads are not real ThinkPads, I don't think. Like, not to me, they're not real ThinkPads because they're like more consumerized. Then you have the T series, which is like, that's more of like a traditional ThinkPad, but still like a bit more consumerized than before. But when you talk about the P series is really where the traditional ThinkPad is, where it has the traditional roll cage and it has all the different like, um, different tests that they perform on this laptop to make sure that it's extremely durable. And you get that legendary ThinkPad build quality, right? And you get the legendary ThinkPad quality keyboard. So really, if you're getting one of the ThinkPad P series, you're getting the true ThinkPads, the ones that are built to the exact same standards that the old ones were. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I got the mobile workstations because they're just built like a tank. And plus, this one has, it has really top of the line specs here. And with an OLED touchscreen, NVIDIA, top of the line NVIDIA professional graphics card. No, of course they run 200 quality checks on this mil spec one. So yeah, especially on the mobile workstations, the P series really gets a lot of the testing here. Like their lower line, I would say the more consumer line, the X series probably doesn't get as much testing as the P series does. So yeah, you can get it with 14 so up to 14700 HX, up to 5000 RTX 5000 Ada, which is NVIDIA's top of the line professional graphics, up to 192 gigs of memory. That's insane. But 128 gigs, even ECC protected memory, which means it's error checked. It's got error checking built in. That's crazy. Up to two 4 TB SSD, like in RAID configuration as well, which is really insane. So this is again, just like the MSI, it's a beast of a laptop. So yeah, in the display you get a 16:10 aspect ratio, which is good. That's gives you a little bit more vertical space. You get up to 4K OLED here with again 400 nits is a bit low. I would like to see a bit higher than that, but everything else is pretty good here. That's a pretty top of the line display. Not quite as good as the MSI Mini LED, but it's just a level below there. X-Rite factory color calibration is pretty good, and TUV low blue light. So it's TUV Rainland certified, which is low blue light certified. Blue light is going to be harmful to your eyes, by the way, if you're going to be on your laptop all the time, which I am. So that's useful. X-Rite factory color calibrated, which is I think they own Pantone as well, so it's going to be Pantone color calibrated too, I think. But anyways, X-Rite makes a lot of color calibrators. I trust them. And so it's going to be pretty accurate here. And yeah, it's general line top of the spec display here. It's literally like just a little bit below the MSI, but the MSI that I talked about, this one has probably the best display on the market here, with that 4K mini LED. And the level just below that is probably this one with the 4K OLED. This is also really, really good display. 6.5 pounds. Well, again, I didn't see how much this MSI weighs, but I'm guessing this is going to be like 6 or 7 pounds at least because this thing looks like a beast. So yeah, I can't expect like a laptop of this size to be, not weighing this much. So I think 6.5 pounds is probably what you'd expect for a laptop of this size. But yeah, that's my number six pick is the Lenovo ThinkPad P16 um, Gen 2. And this is the top of the line ThinkPad right here with the top of the line specs and top of the line build quality. Now I'll put this a little bit higher than the MSI. The MSI is obviously better for just strictly gaming purposes or maybe even media watching. But the ThinkPad comes pretty close. This can also do gaming because there's a pretty solid graphics card as well. Also has a really good display, but I'm betting that the build quality of the ThinkPad is going to be, a level above the MSI. And I know that this is the MSI flagship model. It's probably built pretty well, but still, this is a ThinkPad and it's a ThinkPad P series, so I'm definitely going to be taking this in terms of build quality. So yeah, this is basically a level above in terms of the build quality. Plus, it's got a really good display, really good keyboard and everything, and top of the line specs. So I'm taking it a little bit over the MSI. So in terms of my, the laptops I really would get if I had the money, yeah, this 4,800 bucks, $5,500 for the P16 Gen 2. Again, can't afford it, but would be nice to have if I had the money if I was balling out. All right. So number five is going to be the HP Spectre X360 2-in-1 with an RTX 4050 in it. This is more of a consumer level laptop. I know that's actually kind of a downgrade from the bigger laptops that you guys saw from MSI and ThinkPad, but yeah, this one is like more of a laptop I would use like, every day-ish. So this one you can be using for gaming or media watching as well. Now I believe this one does have an OLED option too, so it's great for media watching and also great for gaming too. So this one's also convertible, which is nice. It's nice to have that convertible option, so you can fold down flat into a tablet. The port selection isn't great. I mean, it is a consumer level laptop, so it's going to have less ports than the gaming laptop and the business laptop here. Another reason why I really like business laptops and gaming laptops is because they actually have ports. The consumer laptops like these ones, the port selection is terrible. Um, that's the way it is since Apple came out with the MacBook back, years ago and took out a bunch of the ports. Thanks, Apple. But yeah, that's how it is. 32 gigs of RAM on this version with an Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. I'm not too familiar with this processor. I'm guessing it's more of like a low power processor though, given that this is like more of a portable laptop meant to conserve battery life and stuff. 2 TB SSD, that's a lot of space. The display is a 1800p OLED. It's not exactly 4K, but it's like a more like a 2.8K. Yeah, the 2.8K OLED. Still a really good display, 120 hertz. RTX 4050 is not a really good graphics card. Definitely not up to the level of the RTX 5000 here or the 4090 in the MSI, but still, it's a dedicated card, so you can still play some games on it. Not like really, really high end, top of the line, not really top of the line graphical quality, but you can still play some games here with this dedicated card, this 4050. So, yeah, let's see. You got gesture control here, auto dimming, auto frame, eye contact technology, background blur audio. So this is stuff that's meant for like meetings. Some of this stuff is meant for meetings, audio tuning here. Um, the X360 means it's convertible, so again, you can flip it into a stand mode, which is pretty flexible, I think. Um, yeah, OLED display, variable refresh rate, iSafe, TUV Rhineland certified, nice. Glam cam, they really call it glam cam? Wow. Okay. So yeah, this is definitely more of a consumer level laptop than the ones that we just saw. But still, it's a top of the line consumer laptop, I'd say. 32 gigs of memory, 2 TB is the top of the line. 4050 again is not really a gaming laptop, but you can play games on it, which is nice. So, and weighs 2 kilograms, so it's not like really light, but it's not really heavy either. DTS:X Ultra for the audio, quad speakers should be okay. The audio should be okay. I actually have a HP Dragonfly Elite G3 laptop right now, and the Bang & Olufsen speakers are really good on that. So if these are probably using the same Bang & Olufsen speakers, but with DTS:X Ultra and quad speakers, should be pretty good actually, the sound quality on this. I've been impressed with my Dragonfly Elite G3's speakers. And Wi-Fi 7, that's really the top of the brand new Wi-Fi revision, I think. Most things, like I said, are still using Wi-Fi 6, so Wi-Fi 7 is really forward thinking right now. Bluetooth 5.4 is interesting. I think 5.5 is actually the newest, but good enough. The ports here, you get one USB Type A, one HDMI 2.1, one headphone microphone combo, two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C. So again, this is kind of the bare minimum of laptops you could probably get on a consumer laptop these days. I know there are some laptops from Apple and Dell that are less ports than this, but I would not even consider buying those laptops because I need to have this is like the bare minimum of laptop ports to me. Like, yeah, this is the bare minimum, okay? You have these ports. If you have less ports than these, I probably wouldn't get it. Like this is like the bare minimum of ports for connectivity for me. And yeah, the Ultra 7, that's pretty interesting. Wondering what kind of CPU that is. Yeah, overall, this is my number five pick. It's at what, $2,700, and that's saving $600 original price. Oh, this is a Canadian website. So that's actually $2,000 US probably. That's how much this costs, and then the original price was $2,500 US. So yeah, that's not the most expensive laptop on this list, but hey, I think this is pretty good for a consumer laptop. Like you have a 2.8K OLED display, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte storage, Ultra 7 processor, should be pretty good on battery. And you get an RTX 4050, so you can play some decent games with it. Plus, it's convertible. So you have the stand mode right here, or presentation mode, I guess, that you can watch media in. So it looks pretty good for watching videos and stuff because it has an OLED display after all. So yeah, should be pretty good for watching movies and stuff, and should be also pretty good for playing games too. So overall, a laptop that's pretty flexible and versatile. So I like it. I put it number five. All right, number four. I had Razer Blade 16. So I've never owned a Razer laptop before, believe it or not. So Razer Blade 16. Uh, I think this is the top of the line Razer Blade. Actually, I know they have a whole bunch of Razer Blades, but this is one of their most expensive ones. And it has an OLED display, 240 hertz. That's actually higher refresh rate than what we saw on all the laptops so far in this video. So yeah, pretty top of the line specs on this one. 240 hertz refresh rate with Visa certified. So what does this clear MI rate 11,000 mean? I'm not sure, but those are pretty top of the line specs. The world's first and fastest OLED 240 hertz display. So yeah, I believe that's true because for OLED for the longest time it did not have a high refresh rate. So and I know this because going back to the back in the day in 2016, okay. I remember buying the Alienware 15R3, I think. And that one came with TN panel, believe it or not. So that one came with a TN display. That's an old technology. The reason why they had TN back then is because TN displays were the only displays back then that had a high refresh rate. They can get up to 120 hertz or 240 hertz back then. And OLED technology, which is kind of emerging at the time on laptops, and I did have an OLED laptop back then. I had the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Yoga, which had an OLED display. So it took the longest time for OLED to kind of catch up to TN first, and then IPS displays later had higher refresh rates. Took a long time for OLED to catch up to them in terms of refresh rates. So OLED, it was always kind of a trade-off back then because I remember shopping for laptops and I was like, should I get OLED but it has a lower refresh rate, or should I get IPS or TN but it has a higher refresh rate? So it's kind of like a trade-off. Um, Now you don't have to trade off anymore because now OLED, Razer got OLED displays up to 240 hertz, which is quite good. And you seen with the other OLED displays, they were 120 hertz, which is good enough for most people. So your OLED displays have really come a long way. When the first OLED displays first came out on laptops, they were not they were just, your standard 60 hertz displays. It took them a while for OLED displays to catch up to IPS and TN in terms of display refresh rates. Now TN is like totally obsolete because nobody wants them anymore. Their only advantage was the refresh rate, and now that advantage is gone now. So now IPS displays have higher refresh rates. Now OLED displays have high refresh rates too. So really, there's no reason to even go for IPS anymore now that you have OLED 240 hertz and you have Display HDR True Black 500. So again, good for watching movies and stuff like that. So this would be a good laptop for media watching and playing games, of course. So it's a Samsung OLED display. Display HDR 500, which again is as good as the Lenovo ThinkPad P16 that we saw, but a little bit below the Titan 18. The Titan 18 had 1,000, Display HDR 1,000. I don't know what Kalman verified means. I'll have to look that up. 240 hertz refresh. That's again You don't see 240 hertz on OLED displays very often. And like Razer says, this is the world's first OLED 240 hertz display. That's impressive. Zero point 0.2 milliseconds response time is really good. 1610, I love that aspect ratio. It's 3:2 and 1610 are probably going to be my preferred aspect ratios now because it's really good for both playing games, watching movies, and for web browsing. QHD plus resolution, so it's not exactly 4K. Might be 2.8K or something like that. DCI P3, you gotta have like 100% coverage to have all the colors. G-Sync ready, 400 nits. Again, 400 nits is a bit low. I would like to have a bit higher than that, but yeah, 400 nits is just 4090. So you can have up to a 4090, which is the most powerful GPU that you can get on a laptop now. That's the same as the MSI Titan, except the Razer Blade is going to be more portable than the Titan, of course. So this is going to be a Razer Blades have always marketed themselves as being thin and light and a portable gaming laptops compared to the bigger, MSI Titan, Alienware type laptops. AI powered performance, don't know what that means. Max Q actually, Max Q just kind of means it's not it's going to be like decreasing the performance of the graphics card most of the time in order to save your battery life. And then when it really needs it, it's going to push it up. So that's Max Q is really meant for laptops. And yeah, laptop graphics cards are still below desktop graphics cards. A good 30%, I would say, below desktop graphics cards. Yep, so 14900 HX, top of the line CPU, like we saw with the MSI Titan. 5.8 gigahertz. That's the exact same as the MSI Titan, kind of overclocked version, 24 cores, 32 threads. They really advertise even the stuff like thermal paste here. Exhaust fins, insulated sheets, and the Honeywell thermal paste. So they even advertise the thermal paste they use. Wow. Copper chamber, surface area vapor filled chamber, dual 44 blade fans. Now this is important though, because when you have a thinner laptop like a Razer Blade, there's more potential for overheating, especially if you're going with a 4090 and the i9, 14900HX CPU. But if you're going with the top of the line CPU and GPU, you really got to make sure you cool your laptop properly. Now the MSI Titan, this is okay because they have a big chassis, because this is an 18-inch laptop, that's a big chassis. When you're going with a 16-inch chassis like this one and a thin profile like a Razer Blade, you got to make sure that your cooling design is really done well because there's a higher potential to overheat. So yeah, they might be advertising a lot on the cooling here, but it's actually kind of a good thing because you want to have some peace of mind, right, about the cooling when I know when I'm buying this, if I'm being paying like at least $2,700 for something like this, I want to make sure that my laptop doesn't blow up when I'm playing the game or something like that. Or just well, it wouldn't blow up, but it would, I don't want a sudden shutdown in my laptop to be like fried or something like that. So yeah, even advertising the thermal paste. So anyways, it shows that Razer does kind of care about this. Aircraft grade aluminum. So they do take a key out of the MacBook designs, right? MacBooks have aluminum bodies and stuff. Razer kind of keeping a lot of people call Razer Blades like kind of the PC MacBooks because they really do kind of take their design, their materials from the MacBook. So really is just kind of like like a PC MacBook, a Windows MacBook. Razer is one of those companies that really is like, yeah, they really took a page out of Apple's design book and because they just replace it with the Razer logo here and using like high quality grade aluminum, glass touchpads. Really, design is just similar to a MacBook here. Of course, it's a lot more powerful than a MacBook though. So weighs 1.85 pounds. Is that really true? No, this is the charger, right? It can't be. Yeah, okay, charger. I was like, no, that can't be true for the actual laptop. That's just the charger, 1.85 pounds. Okay, that's a pretty heavy charger. This charger weighs as much as an iPad Pro. But this is a charger meant for a really powerful laptop. So I guess this is pretty light for a gaming laptop charger, because I'm guessing the MSI Titan charger is going to be a lot bigger than that. Wi-Fi 7, that's the latest, Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2.1. Okay, so you look at the ports here. Decent selection, I would say. The power port here is is this USB-C? Or no, it's not USB-C, right? Because it's USB-C can't deliver the type of power this laptop needs. It's got to be looks like a MagSafe almost, like derived power port. And then you got Type A and Type C USB 3.2 Gen 2, just in different, form factors, Type A and Type C. Then you got headphone microphone combo, and you got full-size SD card reader here. and another Type-C port here, Thunderbolt 4, and another Type-A. You got three Type-A ports in total and two Type-C. Always good to see that. And a 2.1, HDMI 2.1 full size. So it's good. Has a pretty solid selection of ports there. You got the Razer Chroma RGB lighting here and the THX Spatial Audio, which THX is owned by Razer, by the way, if you guys don't know. So THX Spatial Audio I have actually tried. I haven't tried MSI's Nahimic Audio, but yeah, THX Spatial Audio is okay. Pretty comparable to your Dolby Atmos or your DTS:X. 95.2 watt hour battery. That's below the 99.9 watt hour that the MSI had, but that's yeah, that was a much bigger laptop. Really easy upgradability to an extra M2 slot. Okay. Anti-ghosting keyboard. Interesting. I haven't really used a Razer laptop before, so don't know how good the keyboards are, but they look pretty good. Microsoft Precision touchpad. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it's a really nice laptop. I mean, that's why I have it number 4 on my list here, because it's yeah. If you guys are looking for the power of that MSI Titan, but in a smaller, a little bit thinner form factor, that's really what the Razer Blade 16 is, and it's pretty expensive, as you would guess from Razer. So $2,700 is what it starts at. If you get the Mercury version, which is the white version, then it's more expensive. It's at $3,000 if you get the white version. And then if you upgrade to yeah, if you upgrade to 4080, $3,500 is what you're looking at. Now, if I want the 240 hertz, what if I want the 240 hertz? Oh, I guess that's not possible on the Mercury version. Okay, let's go back to black. I want the 240 hertz OLED. Okay, the 2700 with a 4090. Yeah, so if you want the top of the line specs here, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD, i9 14900 HX, QHD plus 240 hertz OLED display in a 4090, you're looking at $3,900 US. So pretty expensive. But again, this is just like the MSI laptops in terms of power, except with an OLED display instead of mini LED, but in more, slightly more portable form factor. So the MSI Titan is going to be this massive chunky laptop, whereas Razer blades are generally, a little bit more svelte. So yeah, this is going to be a better form factor, I think, for most people in terms of being portable. And this is fully desktop replacement level. So yeah, it's really just a more portable, slimmer version of that MSI Titan with basically just as much power. And the display is pretty much just as good. It doesn't have mini LED, but still 240 hertz OLED. Sure, it's pretty much just as good. It's a pretty nice almost top of the line display that you can get on the market right now. So yeah, really really good overall laptop. Wish I had this money, 3,900. That's almost 4,000 bucks. Crazy. But if I had the money, sure, this will be one of the laptops in my collection. All right. So my number three is going to be the Alienware X16 R2. I've always loved Alienware laptop designs, and yeah, the X16 R2. I mean, this is using still using kind of the Legend design that they've used since 2018, I think, but it's in the X form factor. So they slightly redesigned it to make it even thinner. So I never owned the X series Alienware before. I've only owned the M series, but the X series looks pretty good. It's even thinner and still keeping that kind of Legend design intact. So you with the Legend design, you have this kind of RGB ring on the back of it that looks like a UFO spaceship. So that's really cool. Have the side grills and stuff. Now I'm not sure about the cooling, but yeah, it looks pretty svelte and thin. Alienware laptops for the longest time were kind of made fun of because they're so big and chunky. But yeah, like they were made fun of a lot being like MSI, basically being very, very thick and chunky. But now with the X series, they're definitely much slimmer. Still have the Alienware head logo, very iconic here, and you have the RGB lighting ring here, just like with the previous M series. So this is a really nice design. I like it. My Alienware M15 has this as well. I love the design of it. It looks very futuristic. Um, the ports are all at the back, which is I guess good for cable management. So yeah, I really do like the design of Alienware laptops, probably more than any other gaming laptop. So that's why I've actually stuck with Alienware actually for a lot of my gaming laptops because I really do like the design. And this one is almost top of the line version, $2,500, which is on sale by the way. Comes with the Ultra 9 1H5 processor. Now I wonder why they went with the Ultra 9. over something like the i9-14900HX that the Razer uses. But maybe it's to save some battery life. But this is not going to be as performant as the 14900HX. By the way, you notice that there's no Ryzen processor used so far. It's all Intel still. Interesting. Actually, this version, let's go with this top of the line version here. This $3,600 version with an RTX 4090, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD, which makes it more comparable to the Razer Blade 16 here. And I think this comes with, does it not come with an OLED display actually? I thought this actually came with the OLED display. Oh no, it doesn't come. Okay, so that's maybe the one problem with the Alienware. I thought Alienware actually used to have OLED displays. They had the OLED displays before with the Alienware 13, even back in the day, had an OLED display. I wonder why this one doesn't have an OLED display. Interesting. But anyways, here are the specs. Ultra 9 185H, top of the line for this model. It's not going to be as powerful as the 14900 here, but still should be pretty good. RTX 4090, that's top of the line graphics card for laptops. This one is definitely not a good display. I wonder why this version, it's interesting because this $3,600 should be the top of the line, but it comes with a worse screen. Like the 1600p screen should be the top. Why is it going to 1200 here? I'm not sure why. Well, I would like to have a bit better display than this though. This display is the one thing that kind of keeps this laptop down. Display should be a little bit better. Um, but yeah, two USB 3.2 Gen 1, USB-C 3.2, Thunderbolt 4, one USB 2.1, headphone microphone combo. That's pretty much the same ports you would expect in a micro SD. Yeah, same kind of ports you would expect from a laptop this size. Pretty comparable to the Razer actually in terms of port selection. Speakers. It would be nice to compare Razer and Alienware speakers. I don't know which is actually better. The Alienware speakers actually are not that great. So that's one area I think they could improve on is the speakers. They've historically not been that great. So yeah, Alien FX lighting. So you can see all the different lighting and stuff on this is pretty much Alienware is one of the OG gaming laptop or gaming brands, I would say. Yeah. So for Alienware, they go way back. They're one of the OG gaming computer brands, and they're one of the first actually to put RGB lighting on their laptops. So Alien FX has been around for quite a while. They've been around for a while with that lighting, the RGB lighting. Okay, they got some exclusive lighting for the X16 looks like, and the touchpad has lighting too. Okay, cool. Per key lighting. Yep. So that like they were one of the first brands to come up with RGB lighting, but nowadays they're just pretty much like everyone else with the lighting because everyone else caught up. Okay, so we got aluminum lid, some stainless steel panel. So I felt like Alienware laptops quality has always been pretty good. The quality of their laptops is not exactly the same material as Razer. Razer uses aluminum all around, whereas Alienware does use magnesium alloy, I think, and yeah, the little bit of a more plasticky feeling, I would say. So overall, I think Razer is a little bit more premium feeling all around, but Razer's laptops are also pretty premium feeling too. So yeah, I just like the design of Alienware is better, even if the materials aren't quite up to Razer's level. V-Rail Edge. Okay, let's talk about the design here. Okay, upgrade up to 8 terabytes of storage. Wow, that's a lot. An upgrade too. Dolby Vision. Okay, so it supports HDR. Um, okay, so again with the AI powered boosting stuff, I think that's just something built into the NVIDIA parts though. I don't think that's something that Alienware is doing. So Alienware has this cryotech cooling technology. Again, I'm not sure how good it is, because my current Alienware doesn't cool very well. That's why I have to use a notebook cooler. So yeah, I'm not sure how good this is. Razer actually advertises their cooling technology a lot with the vapor chamber and stuff. Not sure how good this cryotech cooling is. Element 31 is gallium silicone thermal interface material. Dissipates heat fast. Okay. Oh, I wonder what that is about. Is this special kind of pasting or something? Quad fans. Okay, so they have a vapor chamber too, which I guess is all on all premium gaming laptops now. Upgraded heat pipes. Okay. A CPU and NPU. Huh. It's an NPU about iGPU. Okay. Battery life. Oh, so here's another thing I like about the Alienware. The mechanical keyboard. So like I said, When MSI had their optional Cherry profile, Cherry ultra low profile mechanical keyboards, I said Alienware is the only other company offering something like this, right? So yeah, Alienware is the only other company I know offering the ultra low profile mechanical keyboards. 1.8 millimeter key travel. And I do have this on my current Alienware laptop, and it's one of the best typing experiences I've ever experienced on a laptop. It's really, really good. So I really do like the typing experience on these mechanical keyboards. Like on laptops, usually you just get membrane keyboards, right? So having the Cherry MX switches on a laptop is really nice. And it has the lighting, of course, as well. German engineered because Cherry MX is a German company, so you get German engineered there. Dolby Atmos, yeah, six speaker spatial sound. Okay, the Alienware FX and stuff. Um, yeah, so let's look at the ports here on the back. So it's good that they're all in the back for cable management. Might be a little bit annoying if you're not keeping it at your desk. It might be a little bit annoying. If you are keeping it on your desk, then it's good for cable management. So you have one combo jack here, micro SD card reader, Type C port, another Type C port. I wonder if they're Thunderbolt 4 though. It doesn't say they're Thunderbolt 4. HDMI 2.1, like just like the others. You got a Type A port here, and then you got another Type A port here, a mini display port. So that's interesting. You have a dedicated mini display port, which usually USB-C can already do, but you have a dedicated mini display port here as well, and a power DC in. Definitely a lot of ports though. You got 9 ports. Actually 8 ports technically. I don't count this power port. So 8 ports. That's definitely good enough for a gaming laptop. Weighs 6 pounds, which is on the heavy side, but again, this is a gaming laptop and it does have a lot of power. So yeah, I guess not going to be too light. So yeah, overall, I would say that compared to the Razer Blade, it's pretty similar to the Razer Blade, except you do get a downgraded display here. That's the main thing here. The Razer Blade does have this 240 hertz OLED display, which is better than the Alienware's display. Um, but the Alienware does have a cooler design, and it does have that low profile Cherry MX keyboard. So yeah, it was kind of like which one do I pick? I still like the Alienware design better, and I like the Cherry MX keyboard. So I'd probably go with the Alienware still, even if the display isn't quite as good as the Razer's. But yeah, I really wish that they have better display. What's with this what's with this here? Like, dude, Dell, let me know what's going on here. You have a $3,600, you have a top of the line model with the worst display. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this a worse display than this one? Doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, that's the only problem with this Alienware here is the display isn't quite as good. It doesn't have an OLED display or a mini LED display, which the MSI and the Razer had. Otherwise, I like the other specs of it. I like the Cherry MX keyboard and the design and everything. The other specs are comparable. It's just the display. Anyways, that's my number three. Right, number two is from Falcon Northwest. And this is a company that not many people know about because they're actually a boutique laptop manufacturer and actually they're a boutique computer manufacturer. Now, what does it mean to be boutique? I've never actually owned a boutique laptop before, but there's a few companies out there. Origin PC is another one, Pujet, Maingear. There's a few different companies out there that custom build you laptops, and Falcon Northwest is the OG one. They've been in business since the 90s. They've been building custom computers and custom laptops for a very long time. And yeah, I think if I had a lot of money, if I was rich and stuff, I would actually. Yeah, Falcon Northwest is one of my dream computers. I've always wanted to have a Falcon Northwest. They've just been extremely expensive because they're a custom computer builder. And yeah, they're really boutique. They only make a few laptops and computers for many people. People custom order them, they build them by hand and ship it out. And yes, all the construction and everything is put together in the US. So they're all built in Oregon, I believe, is where they're headquartered. So yeah, like you're talking about most laptops, like mass manufactured laptops, are built in China and stuff, right? Well, this laptop is actually, yeah, they're all put together in the US and shipped out. So yeah, it's all made in US, and it's customized to your specs. So I've always wanted to have a Falcon Northwest, just never been able to afford it. So the TLX is their kind of they have two different laptops, the DLX and the TLX. The TLX is more of the thinner version of a gaming laptop, only 5.3 pounds, which is going to be lighter than the Alienware. I'm not sure if it's as light as the Razer, but yeah, it might be similar to the Razer. 15.6 inch, get up to 4070. 14900HX CPUs, and 1440p resolution display. So the spec wise, it actually isn't going to be quite as good as the Razer or the Alienware, but hey, I mean Falcon Northwest, you do get a lot more customization. So yeah, Falcon Northwest is yeah, they're a small company. They've been in business since the 90s, and yeah, I've always wanted to get one of their laptops, just never been able to afford it. So you can get up to 14900HX. That's comparable to the MSI, the Razer and the Alienware. But then with the RTX 4060 or 4070, it's not going to give you as much performance as the 4090 that you can get with the Razer or the MSI, or the Alienware actually. But yeah, 4070 is still pretty good, I guess. Just not quite as good as 4090. Um, the 1440p display is not OLED or mini LED, so it isn't going to be quite as good as the Razer or MSI's display, but it will be probably comparable to the Alienware's display. 64, 64 gigs of memory, up to two storage drives, RGB keyboard. You got Sound Blaster Studio Pro. I don't know. I've never owned a Falcon Northwest, so I have no idea how good the speakers or keyboard or anything is, but yeah, Wi-Fi 6E. That's not the latest. 7 is actually the latest, but 6E is good enough. Um, you get a full size keyboard here with a numpad. That's good. And it's not a 1610 display. I think it's just a 16:9 display, so that's a little bit of a letdown as well. But you can be customized. You can customize your graphics of the graphics of your laptop actually. So the lid of your laptop can be completely customized. So they do a high resolution UV LED printing. So that's really cool. That's something you can't do with Razer or Alienware or MSI. Infinite colors. You can just upload a color and then they'll try to match your color. So again, this being a boutique company, they can just do all that for you. So they can also fully customize your top panel with a custom art and graphic. Again, that's something that a boutique company can do for you. Expansive I/O. So those are the ports here. You get a HDMI mini display port into USB-C. Speaker headphone out, that's normal. And you got two USB Type A, one USB Type C, one Thunderbolt, micro SD card reader. So yeah, so this is basically the back. You got a dedicated display port, which you see on the Alienware as well. That's not too common nowadays, because USB-C can usually do that. But yeah, dedicated DisplayPort 1.4, full-size HDMI 2.1. I'm guessing 2.1. Full-size Ethernet RJ45 here, USB-A, lock slot, micro SD card slot, two USB-Cs here, and two USB-As on this side, and a dedicated microphone and headphone jack. They're separate. They're not combo. So that's another plus, I guess. 1440p IPS display, I'm guessing. So that's a downgrade from the other ones that we saw, but oh well. 5.3 pounds. Battery, I'm guessing not very long for a gaming laptop. Okay, fully featured keyboard, numeric numpad. Yeah, so this is going to be a full-size keyboard with a numpad. Unfortunately, no mechanical switches like you see in the Alienware or the MSI. But yeah, let's actually configure it so you guys can see. First of all, how much it costs if I go with the full settings, and then what you can do with it. So yeah, I got a TLX chassis and custom UV printing. So let's see. Let's just assume I'm going with this video. I'm assuming I have a lot of money. I'm just assuming I'm going to be like a billionaire here and I have all the money in the world. So what would I get? This resin one looks pretty cool. This chrome one actually looks really cool too. And the concrete. Huh. We got a concrete one. Let's see. So this is the chrome theme and concrete theme. It's all pretty cool looking actually. Silver light theme. Okay. This chrome one, maybe chrome or actually silver light. Yeah, we can go with the silver, or you can go with the custom one because you can always upload your own art and put it on here. So I probably upload it with my own like cyberpunk art and put it on here. So I'd probably go with the custom. Just upload my own cyberpunk art on there. And the display is only one choice, unfortunately. No OLED option, no mini LED options. That's a letdown, but yeah. Processor is the top of the line, 14900HX. Memory 32 gigs, that's good enough for me. Video card, I'm gonna get the 4070. Networking, yeah, that's the 60 operating system. Let's go with a 4 terabyte here. I want as much storage as I can get. And let's get another 4 terabyte here. That's 8 terabytes of data. I mean, I have a lot of games, so yeah, I'm just gonna install as many games as I can. And you can even get an external optical drive if you want. Office software rescue drive. It comes with a rescue drive with the OS warranty 1 year. You can even add extras like a keyboard and stuff, but these are all extras and not part of the laptop itself. So yeah, let's see. Actually, a lot of the money was actually added from the drive itself. Let's say I'm gonna get a 4 TB data drive and 2 TB OS drive. That's good enough, right? Or just get 2 TB, 2 TB. That's fine. Anyways, $3,200 is what it comes out to, and takes 44 days to build because they had to build to my spec, of course. So yeah, this is a custom essentially computer company that will build you what you want. So you take this chassis, they'll print you whatever display or graphic you want for your lid. So I just put my own custom graphic here, print it. Um, yeah, overall the specs are pretty good. I mean, yes, it's not quite as good as the Razer, the MSI, or the Alienware because it does have a 4090. The display is kind of a letdown. It's not OLED or mini LED, but yeah, like the custom stuff is yeah, what attracts me to Falcon Northwest. And I know there's other companies like Origin PC and Main Gear, and it's like Falcon Northwest is the OG, right? Like they came out, they're one of the very, very first companies that came out with this custom computer builds, like computer gaming builds, I would say. Like they've always been a gaming computer focused company since the beginning, and they've been doing it for such a long time. So just been one of my dreams to get a Falcon Northwest computer. So yeah, this is probably what I would get. $3,200 US with my own custom lid, top of the line specs, including 4070. Yeah, this is pretty much what I would go for. I'd go for the TLX probably over the DLX. So yeah, that's my number two is I would get a custom computer from Falcon Northwest. All right, now my number one is the Asus ZenBook 17 Fold OLED. Oh man, okay. Maybe you guys have noticed, right? Asus is one of my favorite companies, and I didn't have Asus on my list yet, right? You know that there's going to be a good Asus laptop or computer coming up. This technically isn't just a laptop; it's just a wild computer. It's just so a couple years ago, I did a review on my channel of the ThinkPad X1 Fold. That's a foldable, like kind of tablet. It's like a foldable OLED tablet, and you can attach a Bluetooth keyboard onto it, and it becomes like a mini laptop. I found that really cool, but it didn't work as well. It was like it had a lot of issues. I think the software was not exactly prime time yet, so there was a lot of software issues with it. So yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't really ready. But the concept itself of a foldable laptop is really cool. So yeah, the ThinkPad X1 Fold was the very, very first foldable laptop, I think. That was like 3 years ago. Yeah. But now you have the I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. But now you have the ZenBook 17 Fold OLED. So Asus took it to the next level by making a 17-inch foldable laptop. So you have the 17-inch display, this OLED display, of course, because OLED is foldable. And then you yeah, they made a foldable OLED display, and you can put this Bluetooth keyboard on top of it. And I assume it works pretty much a similar way to the Lenovo X1 Fold. So yeah, you have this big giant foldable display that you can convert into a laptop, which is really, really cool. So yeah, 17.3-inch foldable OLED touchscreen that folds down to a compact 12.5-inch size, making it smaller than a sheet of photocopy paper. Oh man, this is my number one dream laptop is something like this. This is really expensive, of course. Like a laptop like this is really unique, and I love that Asus makes a lot of unique stuff. I mean, like the Asus ZenBook Duo, the Zephyrus Duo. I mean, those are all really unique laptops too, right? But the Asus ZenBook 17 Fold has got to be the most unique out of them all. 2.5K Nano Edge Dolby Vision display, Pantone validated, TUV Rainland certified, stunning Harman Kardon certified quad speaker Dolby Atmos audio system. They fit that all into a foldable display like this is incredible. And yeah, there's many different ways you can use this. So just like with the ThinkPad X1 Fold that I reviewed before, you can do it this way. We can have the keyboard separate from the display. Just prop up the display with a kickstand. You can do it like that. Like just use the display like a monitor. Or you can use it as a traditional laptop by putting the keyboard there. Or you can just use it as a big giant tablet like that. Or you can use it with an on-screen touchscreen keyboard like that. Or you can just have the display foldable like that and just keep the keyboard here. I mean, there's so many ways you can use this thing. So yeah, it's a very, very versatile laptop. So the world's first 17-inch foldable laptop, 1.5 kilograms, pretty light. And 4:3 aspect ratio display that you don't see 4:3 aspect ratio anymore. That's a very old school, it's an old school aspect ratio. That's the CRT aspect ratio, basically. You saw this on very old laptops and from the 90s and in the early 2000s. You don't see that anymore. But yeah, nowadays you have with tablets, like the iPad and actually the Lenovo X1 Fold as well. Like you see 4:3 aspect ratios only on these devices now. 2.5 inch when it's folded. And yeah, you can convert it into all these different modes. It's like basically like a super version of that convertible, that the convertible form factor, right? The 360-degree hinge, the Lenovo Yoga form factor. This is like taking it to the next level, basically. So you can have all these different versatile modes. Processor, you can't expect a powerful processor because, well, you got to fit it into a foldable OLED display. So you can only get up to 12th gen Intel Core i7. XC graphics, two Thunderbolt 4, Harman Kardon speakers. I'm actually still impressed they managed to fit all this already in that display. Dolby Vision, color sensor. 30,000 cycles has been hinge tested. Okay, that's all really cool. And yeah, obviously a very, very unique device. So yeah, it's 17.3 inches unfolded and 12.5. So it's 4:3 aspect ratio unfolded, and it's 2560 by 1920. And then it folds into 12.5 3:2 aspect ratio, 1920 by 1280 resolution. Pretty cool. 100% DCI-P3, OLED, of course. Yeah, just a really, really cool machine here. Only 8.7 millimeters thin. Um, even they even advertise the Asus logo here. It only weighs 1.5 kilograms without the keyboard, 1.8 kilograms with it. Still pretty light. I think this is still like, okay, so it's 4 pounds with the keyboard. Okay, so it's not like super light, but it's still, not heavy, I would say. Not heavy. 4 pounds with the keyboard is like a little bit on the heavy side for a laptop these days, but it's not too heavy still. Definitely not like a gaming laptop. It's a hybrid, of course. You can use it in all these different modes, laptop, desktop, tablet. And yeah, it's really just a really, really unique device here. So yeah, it's advertising laptop mode with the Bluetooth keyboard. You can use it like this. You can use it with the virtual keyboard, which is the touchscreen keyboard. I do like the 3:2 aspect ratio, like it gives you more reading space. My HP Dragonfly Elite G3 right now is the 3:2 aspect ratio, which I like. Desktop mode, you can just pop it up like a monitor. Tablet mode, you can fold it down like that. Reader mode, which I guess you can fold it like a book. Extended mode. That's what they call this mode. They even have a name for this mode. It's called extended mode. That's funny. Yep. It is the world's only laptop that's 17 inches foldable. So yeah, this is the only 17-inch foldable laptop on the market right now. There's only one other laptop that's foldable on the market, and that's the Lenovo X1 Fold. So I mean, it's not like it has much competition. Yeah, there's not much foldable laptops on the market to begin with. And the color gamut, PCP, DCI-P3 is great for watching movies, I'm guessing. There's so many ways you can use this device, so it's going to be great for watching movies, actually. Not so good for gaming because, well, it doesn't have much power, but I think for watching media, movies would be great. So yeah, so OLED laptop, yeah, so this is just the benefits of OLED basically. You guys already know 1 million to 1, display true black 500, HDR 500, I mean. 2.5K resolution. So it's not exactly 4K, but 2.5K, which is still good enough for most people. And this is talking about the Harman Kardon Dolby Atmos system. Would be impressive if they managed to fit a decent speaker system onto something like this. I mean, I would think there wouldn't be much space for fitting quad speakers, but yeah, maybe they did it. I mean, some Asus laptops, like my Asus M Duo with the Harman Kardon, is actually pretty impressive, I think. Smart amp, 350% louder sound. Okay. Hopefully without distortion. Noise cancellation with the AI. They even advertise what the microphone here. The Bluetooth keyboard is well, it's a Bluetooth keyboard, right? So this keyboard isn't going to be as good as a typical laptop keyboard because it's a Bluetooth keyboard. So I don't expect it to be as good as a typical laptop keyboard here. Okay, so touchpad. Yeah, this already is going to be this touchpad is not going to be great, I'm guessing. Okay, 19.1 cap dish assurance connectivity. I wish it wasn't Bluetooth actually, because Bluetooth can be a little bit fickle when connecting. I wish it could be using a dongle or something. Like now, like when you have Bluetooth keyboards that are sold separately, like Logitech keyboards and stuff, they come with some sort of dongle. So you have better connectivity, like 2.4 gigahertz connectivity. So the Bluetooth has always been a little bit finicky. So you need to wait a bit for Bluetooth to connect. Whereas if you have a 2.4 gigahertz connection, you can just be like more immediate. Or if you have, of course, a magnetic connector like a Surface Pro or iPad Pro. If you have that kind of connection, then that's kind of smart connector connection. That's going to be more immediate as well. So I wish they could have used something like that instead of Bluetooth. Um, yep. Everything else, 5 megapixel AI camera. Okay. HD infrared camera, color sensor. It automatically adjusts the brightness and color. So it's kind of like the True Tone technology from iPad Pro. 5 megapixel AI camera. Okay. Well, that'd be interesting to use. Full screens landscape and portrait. Right. I'm guessing it treats it as a extended display. Yeah. Um, well, with Asus, they always do so much like interesting stuff with their computers and laptops. Like they had the ZenBook Duo, the Zephyrus Duo, and now with the ZenBook 17 Fold, they have a lot of cool software already that's already doing that kind of stuff. So yes, 3. So I'm guessing they took some of the ZenBook Duo stuff and adapted it for the folding display here. Yeah. So yeah, that's what comes with. And 30,000 cycles durability. I hope this is true because, I've had issues with folding OLED displays before. I had a Samsung Z Fold 4 and it kind of broke within 1.5 years because the hinge just stopped working. So I hope that this hinge doesn't stop working like that because this is an too expensive of an investment to just stop working. Even the Galaxy Z Fold 4 should not have broke like that. Not within 1.5 years. That's crazy. I mean, that's like a almost $2,000 phone. So yeah, I've had issues with folding displays before in the past. This meets a 10-inch military standard. I wonder how it even does, what kind of tests they used. Humidity test, vibration, altitude drop, low temperature, high temperature. Okay, it's impressive that they did those tests on a folding display. Yeah, because folding displays are like, generally more fragile, so it's pretty impressive that they tested all that. Yeah, overall, this is just a really, really unique laptop. What can I say? It's probably out of all the different laptops on this list, this is the one I want the most because it's super unique. It's a foldable laptop. The only other foldable laptop I know is the ThinkPad X1 Fold. This one is like a bigger version of the ThinkPad X1 Fold, I think. So yeah, this is like a 17-inch version. The ThinkPad X1 Fold was that I think the X1 Fold was like a 12-inch that folded into like a 7-inch or an 8-inch, I think. This one's a 17-inch that folds into a 12-inch. So yeah, but this one's more useful because it's just useful to have a bigger display unfolded, right? So this one's more useful than the ThinkPad X1 Fold in my opinion. And yeah, it's the bigger foldable display. So it's really, really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my number one pick for the laptop I would get if I had the money. And how much does this cost? Do you guys really want to know? 4,300 is the price open box, and the this is what I found on eBay open box. So the new version I think is close to $5,000, believe it or not. So this is a super expensive computer, and that's what you would expect for something like this unique, right? But yeah, super expensive computer, 4,300 open box and about $5,000 new. Crazy. Anyways, if I had the money, yes, I would get a computer like this. This is insane in terms of what it is, the design. Just really, really super unique computer, and always hats off to Asus for making such incredibly unique computers. I love their ZenBook Fold and ZenBook Duo, and even like the Zephyrus Duo and the Zephyrus. notebooks. They're all really cool and unique. So sometimes I think some of those Zephyrus notebooks had like this dot matrix lid or this matrix lid or something like that that kind of you can customize. So Asus always makes some really cool looking laptops. So yeah, they have some really innovative. Just want to add that in addition to the Asus 17 Fold, there's a new version of the ThinkPad X1 Fold as well. This is the Generation 2. And yes, Lenovo was the very first one to actually release a foldable OLED laptop. Asus was the second, I guess. And they have, yeah, a second generation of this one. This one actually has a bigger display. The original one, I think, was 13 inches that folds into like a 7 or 8 inch. This is a 16.3 inch that folds into like a 12 inch. So yeah, this is pretty competitive with the Asus 17, I would say, in terms of the technology, because these are the only two folding laptops on the market right now. And when folding, I mean like, the foldable screen, right? All laptops are foldable, but we're talking about the folding OLED stuff. Yeah, so the X1 Fold and the ZenBook 17 Fold are the only two that are pretty much on the market. They're pretty much competing against each other. This one's a little bit cheaper, starts at 1900. And there's a few configurations, whereas the Asus 17 starts or pretty much only has one configuration, and it's at $3,500 MSRP. So this is significantly cheaper, I would say, than the Asus if you go for a lower setting. But yeah, I would say if your barrier to entry is going to be you want to have the lowest costed, foldable laptop, then the X1 Fold is definitely the cheaper one. I think the specs might not be quite as good as the 17 Fold, and the screen is a little bit smaller, 16 inches, not 17 inches. So yes, I know that my number one is the Asus ZenBook 17 Fold, but I do want to mention their competitor in the space as well, which is the only other folding laptop on the market, the ThinkPad X1 Fold in their second generation. I haven't tried either of these. I've only tried the first generation X1 Fold, which wasn't very good. It was filled with bugs. Um, but yeah, it looks like these two are pretty competitive. The X1 Fold has a slightly smaller display, but it is cheaper as well. So there's another option here, but I would still prefer the ZenBook 17 Fold because I do like Asus stuff. I think that Asus design is it's more eye-catching. Whereas the Lenovo ThinkPad design, it looks very business-like, so not quite as eye-catching as the ZenBook design. So, anyways, just want to mention the X1 Fold second generation as creative stuff. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's my list of top 10 laptops that I would get if I had the money. Let me know if you guys agree or what laptops would you guys get if you had an unlimited budget to spend. And yeah, that's it. As always, thanks for watching. Always love talking about this kind of